Welcome to Writing with Amanda Lee. If you're new here, hi, hello. Welcome to your first video. If you've seen my previous videos, then welcome back. For those who don't know, this is my YouTube channel, dedicated to tutorials and information about literary editing. I like to take some time to walk people through my editing process so that they understand what they're choosing by working with me as an editor. I believe in transparency and think it's a practice that more businesses could use these days. Today, we're going to be talking about standard resumes. These resumes are perfect for new graduates, first-time job seekers, and people who are planning on switching careers but don't have a lot of experience in the career that they're switching to. But before we begin on this resume template that I have set up for us today, I want to go over something that's been bothering me. If you see people on LinkedIn or other job search engines claiming to have some kind of authority over what makes a recruiter or job consider your CV before going into standard information, such as job experience, references, etc., please don't listen to the advice that they are giving. While some of it may be accurate, they've already lost all credibility by referring to a resume as a curriculum vitae. I'm not going to spend an extended amount of time on this topic. I will be featuring a CV in a future video, but I want to distinguish the key differences between a CV and a resume. A CV is a comprehensive multi-page document detailing your entire academic and professional history, used primarily for academia, research, or medicine. A resume is a concise 1 to 2 page summary of skills and experience tailored specifically to a job application in the private or public sector. Some key differences between a CV and a resume are that CVs include extensive details like publication, grant, and research history. Resumes highlight key accomplishments relevant to the specific role that you are applying to. CVs have no length limit. They're often more than 2 pages because they cover your entire academic and work history. Resumes are strictly 1 to 2 pages. If you go over 2 pages, odds are your resume will never be seen. CVs are for academic scientific roles. This would mean if you were applying for research jobs to create textbooks or wanted to work in a lab, or if you wanted to enter into the medical field. Resumes are for corporate or industry jobs, which is what most people use. You want to use your CV for academic positions, research positions, fellowships, grants, or CV-based international applications. For resumes, you want to use those for private sector jobs, corporate, nonprofit, or government roles. Now that we've gone over the differences between a CV and a resume, I want to get into the template that we're going to be using today. This is my standard resume template. Keep in mind, this is just how I like to format my resumes. There are many other options out there. I just think this is a clean and effective way to fit everything into as few pages as possible. Here's what my standard resume template looks like. As you can see, it includes key aspects for job seekers such as first and last names, the job title you're applying for, and contact information such as your phone number, town and state of residence, your email, and any job board links. Next, we have the work history section, where you'll provide the title of your previous jobs, your employer information, the locations of the job, contact information, and the years worked. You also need your job description, the duties that you would perform, and other relevant information. There's also an area for references, other relevant work history, educational background, and skills. We'll come back to that area in a bit. For now, we're going to focus on the most vital information, such as the contact information. I'm going to put in my first and last name, the title of the job type that I'm searching for. In this case, that'll be customer service. And then I'm going to put in my contact information. I'm not going to use my personal contact information for obvious reasons. I'm just going to plug in my business information. So my business phone number, my current state of residence, and my business email. Then I can add links to my profiles by highlighting the profile name, such as LinkedIn, go into the insert ribbon at the top of the document, click on insert link, and paste the hyperlink into the search bar before accepting the change. That way, whoever views my resume will be able to click on the link and be brought straight to my resume page. Now we have the work summary. We're going to leave it off for now and plug in relevant work history. The best way to go about this is by creating a list of general information about your previous employment. You want to include your job title, the employer who you worked for, the location of the job, contact number or email for your previous employer, and the years that you worked there. You want to work in reverse chronological order, most relevant job at the top. This is almost always the job you are currently working or the job you are looking to replace. I'm currently working as a couple of different titles, so I'm going to use editor, insert a vertical dash symbol to separate the titles, and then add social media management. While being self-employed typically requires many hats that are involved in customer service areas, these are the two most relevant in my case. Now I'm going to add the years, 2025 to present. I'm not going to include the months because it's really not important. They'll ask if they really want it. I'm self-employed, I work remotely, and my contact number is the same as the top of the resume. So I'm going to remove that completely. We'll come back to the job description, duties, and other information later. For now, we're just plugging in work history information. Looking at my list, my next entry should be my work as an in-home caregiver. This was through private employment from 2021 to 2025. Unfortunately, the person that I was caring for passed away due to colon cancer. So I'm going to leave contact information off this entry as well. Now that you have the basic idea, I'm going to quickly plug in the rest of my previous employment history so we can move on. This is going to include my work at Dunkin' and my work at Walmart from the years 2019 to 2021. Now we're going to scroll back up to edit reference information on the sidebar. You don't necessarily need this on your resume, but you should have a few references in mind just in case they ask. When listing references, you want to avoid using labels like family or friend. It's a little different if you're still in high school, but you'd still be better off listing teachers. You want to include clients that you've previously worked with, your previous employers that haven't been listed in your job history, or previous supervisors. You can also add people who you've collaborated with on creative projects and people that you've worked with in group settings. Then you want to very briefly describe the relationship with this person that you're referencing. It should only be one sentence and it should be very simple. Next, we're going to do the other relevant work history. In my case, this would be my volunteer work at an animal rescue. This is far less detailed than the main work history list. You just need the employer or supervisor that you worked under, the title that you worked, a contact number, and a brief one-sentence description of the work that you did that's relevant to this job. Then we have the education section. This will be the simplest part of the entire application process. Simply input the school you attended, the status of your education, such as high school diploma, GED, or degree, and your completion year. If you graduated from high school more than 10 years ago, you can go ahead and leave that off the list. Remember to include any trade schools or other forms of higher education here, even if they aren't relevant to what you're looking for in a job. This prevents unexplained gap years in your work history. For example, I graduated from the University of Maine at Augusta with my bachelor's in arts in 2025. Before that, I graduated from Central Carolina Community College in 2017 with my associate in arts degree, and Lee County High School with my high school diploma in 2014. Another great thing to add to this section is links to the school's website. Just do what we did earlier and highlight the school name, go to the Insert tab, click Insert Link, copy and paste the link, then confirm. This way, if the employer wants additional information about your educational background, they can go to the source. This is a great way to create transparency in your resume. Finally, for this section, we're going to go in and add a list of skills that apply to the job we're looking for. You don't want this to be a long section. Try to avoid bullet points if you can. This is where you're going to be listing your keywords. This is crucial to your resume. As I mentioned before, resumes that are more than 2 pages are unlikely to ever reach human hands. That's because the resumes get run through an algorithm that looks for words on the document relevant to the specific skills the employer is looking for. We want keywords for customer service jobs. A quick Google search comes up with a list of keywords specific to customer service job skills. You can do further research depending on the specific role that you're looking for. These words will help you make sure that your resume gets seen. If general keywords like these don't get you more interviews, find ways to switch them up. Now we're going to go back and complete the work history summary. You want to include your keywords in this section and additional ones if possible. Try to keep the section under 3 sentences. For mine, I'm going to say, customer-focused professional with 10 plus years of experience in retail, food service, caregiving, and client-based services. Skilled in customer relationship management, conflict resolution, and problem solving, with a strong commitment to delivering high levels of customer satisfaction. This includes 4 of my keywords. With keywords and general work history summary out of the way, we're going to go back through the work history section and input our job descriptions and duties. Job description should be under 2 sentences. For my editor and social media content job, I'm going to say, provide professional editing and social media management services to clients, manage multiple accounts while maintaining brand consistency and engagement growth. For duties, you want to list specific jobs that you perform or performed for this job. This is another area where you want keywords to come into play. For this job, I'm going to put maintain client records and communications using CRM tools, respond to client inquiries and revisions promptly, apply strong written communications and problem-solving skills, monitor engagement metrics to improve customer satisfaction, promote services and implement upselling techniques when appropriate. This will take up 5 of my keywords. You'll continue like this straight down through the document. If you're unsure what to put here in order to implement your keywords, I recommend plugging in your keywords and your resume file to a generative AI like ChatGPT. Try to keep each listed duty as 1 sentence and avoid using terms like I, me, she, he, we, or they. Finally, once you're done listing your duties, you want to remove the bullet list indent and provide 1 to 2 lines of other information where applicable. This is your chance to humble brag. Tell the prospective employer about the accomplishments you made during this job, including awards, promotions, and raises. Be sure to include times between. Once your resume is complete, you'll want to export it into a PDF. To do this, click File at the top of the document, click Export under Print, then click on Create PDF. When saving the document for submission, remember that your first and last name should be first in the save file, followed by a hyphen, and then the specific job the resume applies to. This helps you keep track of the resume, while the employer can easily see which candidate the resume is for. Don't be one of those people who submits a file that just says resume at the top. They have no idea who you are. Thanks for watching my standard resume template tutorial. If you found this video helpful and want to try out this template, it is currently available for purchase on my website, writingwithamandalee.weebly.com. To find the store, simply go to the website, find the Services tab, click on Downloadable Content, and search through the currently available library. Templates will become available as they are created, along with guides to help you fill them out. I will be introducing templates here on my channel over time, so don't forget to subscribe. Happy writing!